Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today because it's payday. Yes, I am so excited because I have bills to pay. I could not complete Paycheck 2 and pay my credit card completely until my husband's third paycheck of the month came in, and then I could pay the whole total. So we're going to be carrying over a negative balance on Paycheck 2. All of our spending actually goes on to the credit card, and I have to pay the credit card off. And I do that weekly when I do my weekly check-in, and I had to wait one day, basically overnight, to pay it because the deposit hadn't hit the bank account yet, and I needed the cash to pay the credit card. So I just waited a little bit and paid it, and it's all good. It's all good. I am paying it. I just have to take it out of Paycheck 3 to finish off Paycheck 2. So we are going to go through the income, how much that came in, and money I actually transferred in and what that was. And we're going to look at all the numbers down here. I have an estimate of what we were going to be over budget with, and it's definitely more than this. So we'll find that number out in just a minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, Paycheck 2. It's going to be a total of three different categories. What I balanced forward from Paycheck 1, that was left over sitting in the checking account before this paycheck hit, and then any extra or other income. So part of this is not actually extra income. Part of this was actually a transfer from savings, where my sinking funds sit and just wait to be used, and moved over here to the income section because it paid a bill that came out of the checking account. And you'll see this under the variable. We had Orkin come out earlier this month, about a week ago, within the past week. And so I transferred the funds I had for that into this checking account because I don't pay attention to when they're showing it. They show up quarterly because that's how I have it set up to show up. But that's kind of where I'm at right there. So I need to go ahead and put a total here for other income. So the first thing was the transfer from my savings from sinking funds for the Orkin. And then I got these two random checks from our previous energy or electric company in Virginia when we used to live in Virginia. Apparently there was an adjustment that was made. They overcharged, and we got two separate, very small checks, and I just made the deposit and said, okay, whatever. So the first one was for $2.38, and since I made the deposit, I got to account for it here. And then the other one was $3.22. So I have a total of $109.52. Hopefully I'm doing this right. All right. So I have $109.52 as other income, even though the other income was actually, most of it was from savings. It was to pay a bill that came out of the checking account, which I accounted for down here. So they kind of cancel each other out, which is kind of nice. So now I'm going to add the salary check. That is my husband's. And then I'm going to add the money that was sitting in the checking account before that check posted. Alrighty. So I had a total of $2,899.64 to work with for Paycheck 2 as my total. And I have that in my notes. That is perfect. I am very happy with that. Now that I have my income, let's look down at the expenses. So I do little check marks on my fixed expenses. I did have to go back. If you saw my last Paycheck 2, it was a 28 cents higher. My AT&T went down. I have a little area here that says went down, and I just adjusted this by that 28 cents, and it gave me even $14.10 for my total fixed expenses. So there you go. That's the only thing different from my last video when I did Paycheck 2. But that had not, AT&T had not hit the count yet. So I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, now that I have this totaled, I need to come over here to my variable. And as you can see, I don't have my actuals written down from my weekly check-ins. Here, where I have to total week 3 and week 4, what I spent there in all of these categories. So I do keep track of all 6 of these categories 4 of those are on that page, but the other 2 I kind of track off the page, and it's not that big a deal. They're small. So like gas, I can track pretty easily, and copays are pretty easy to track. So I do have my numbers, so I'm just going to write my numbers over here for the actuals, and that way we can go ahead and total all this up. I need to get my notes where I can see them though. Okay, so the first thing we have, I'm going to set this off to the side. First thing we have is grocery household, and that was $675.41, which is over budget. I'm not going to do this plus minus thing on the side. I don't really pay attention to that much. Let's see, $358 and 76 cents. So I'm way over budget there. Let's see here, miscellaneous. I had $321.73, which kept it in budget, which is nice. And then gas, I had $96.86. There we go. And then copay, I had $29.86. And I did have $60 here that I paid in this paycheck time period, which is a 2-week time period. So that's why I have to combine week 3 and 4 in the weekly check-in. And as you can see, these are the numbers where I was over in those categories. So let's total this number up, find out what that is, and then we'll take our income minus our expenses, and we're going to balance forward a negative number. Okay, so what I have is $1,703.57. My notes over here say 58 cents. So I probably did something wrong here. Let me try this again. I wrote the wrong number down, that's all. Oh, goodness. When the numbers are so close and side by side, sometimes I write the wrong number down. So 73, 87, 86, 0, 35, 92, 69. There, that's why I was a penny off. So that was my fault. No problem there. All right, so my total here went way up, and I will have to pay for it out of paycheck 3. So what is the negative number? We're going to take this number, 289964, and all of this is cleared. Everything is cleared in the bank account, in the checking and the credit card. Now, I haven't paid the credit card, but I will pay today after I do this video, because the paycheck is today. And so I want to make sure that the cash was sitting in a checking account for paycheck 3 before I actually paid the credit card for paycheck 2. Once I do that and I have that taken care of, then all the numbers will fall into place. So that was the deposit. I never go negative in my checking account. I just don't. I always make sure there's some kind of cash there. And I'm going to subtract the $14.10 here, and then I'm going to subtract the actuals, not the budgeted. The actuals is $1,703.58. And that gives me a negative of $213.94, which is pretty much $100 over what I had previously thought it was going to be. Not quite 100, but like $98 over. $394. And this is why I have to wait for that deposit to pay for everything for paycheck 2. $60. This was just me reminding myself that I did do over budget or unbudgeted item for $60 that I'm taking care of. No, I took care of that. That's not what I wanted to put there. Unbudgeted, I have a couple things. They haven't been paid for. I wanted to make a note. They're going to be paid for with the tax return money that's coming. And the two things that are coming, being paid for with the tax return money that my husband and I have agreed on that we are splitting, basically, for certain activities that I've talked about before. The first thing we're going to pay for is the GalaxyCon tickets that are sitting. I've charged it to the credit card. I just haven't paid essentially that part. And then plus what we paid for the taxes. There we go. So this is the total for what will be left on the credit card after everything has been posted. Once the tax return shows up, I'll just pay for this and we'll be done. And I want to use that income to pay for it. The rest, this part, I'll pay with the tax return, and I think it's double this. It's almost $1,600 that's coming back. The other $800 of it is going to go to my husband, and he gets to do activities with one of our sons. And then I bought these tickets for our annual activity at GalaxyCon. And if you know, you know. So 8, 61, 66. Now, why make a note to yourself for this? Because you want to stay on top of, oh, I'm going to pay later. You want to stay on top of that. Even if you're paying way above the minimum and you're not being charged interest on your credit card, but you're using a credit card for all this spending, you want to keep an eye on things you're not intentionally paying for right now. And that way you have that gut, instinct of, I want to protect my future income so that I spend it on what I actually want to spend it on. Nothing's worse than putting a bunch of charges on the credit card, having to pay interest on things like pizza night and restaurants and drinks, things you can't even return or get partial money back for. They were experiences and things you ate and drank and things like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, doing all those things. I want people to do all those things. But without a plan and without knowing where the cash is coming from to pay for it, without reminding yourself what is you're paying and what the interest is. I mean, who wants to pay 18% interest on top of a $50 pizza night? I mean, that's what broke me. When I realized that's what I was doing, I was like, no. I'm not doing that anymore. So that's why I make sure I tell myself what is unbudgeted and what's sitting on the credit card that needs to be paid for. The only thing I put in here, unbudgeted, is what I actually am paying for. So there we go. That's the difference for me. So let's go ahead and put this number negative $213.94 in my Paycheck 3 over here. So I'm balancing forward a negative. This is twice I've done this, I think, this year. $213.94. My struggle is I zero out my checking account in the middle of the month. Sometimes I have trouble keeping it within the boundaries and the bumpers I put up, like they have in bowling, those little bumper things, so the ball doesn't go in the gutter. Yeah, so I struggle with that. The salary deposit that I'm seeing in the checking account, I actually know the actual, so I'll put the same as the estimate. $2,552.34. And that's a couple pennies less than what I thought, but that's okay. I think it's just adjusting for taxes and things like that. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to put 0 for other. And so the money we're actually working with during this paycheck period, $255 to $34, and I'm going to subtract $213.94 because I'm going to use this money to pay for what I don't have in Paycheck 2 and make one big payment to the credit card. And that would be $2,338.40. Now, I haven't actually done all this. I've just only done this on paper. But when I'm done here, I will be doing that because I have a $792.74 payment I need to make to the credit card to pay all those transactions, to close out everything that was in Paycheck 2 so I can start fresh here in Paycheck 3. Tithe, $256. And sinking funds. So my sinking funds this time are going to be I need to make a deposit of, now I just move them out of the checking into a savings account. $387.46. Okay, sinking funds, and then Visa Go card. I'm gonna put $175. I think that's what we agreed on, but I think he should get more. I don't know if he's going to take it, but we'll see. And what I'm talking about here, Visa Go card is a prepaid cash card. You just put money on it and then you spend it however you want. My husband does not like to use our checking account for his personal spending because he's afraid he's going to screw up the bills or what I'm doing here with you guys. So he just like, let me just transfer money over. And so this is like a personal spending for him. And so he can spend it on whatever he wants. It's kind of cool. I came home with stuff the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, what is... I see in my app that in the mail that there are packages coming today. I'm like, oh my God, or coming this week. I'm like, what did he order now? It's hilarious. I love it though. Roth IRA, this is me putting money aside in a savings account for $171 every time my husband gets paid. So when I save up all year long, by the end of the year, I have $6,500. The last 2 paychecks of the year, I will add $1 to both of those, and I'll even everything out. And then after the next year in January, when it becomes available and I can make the deposit, I will make a deposit of $6,500 in my Roth IRA investment. So I always do it in the front of the year and then go forward from there. So it works for me for now, and that's what I'm planning to do. I got a variable over here, so I need to come up with what we have for our spending categories. It's not a lot. I've already taken out 2 transactions from, if you saw my weekly check-in, something that we started up again. I used to do HelloFresh a while back, and I think I'll leave a link in the description box if you're interested in HelloFresh and want to try it out and get discounts and stuff like that. But they charge twice. This is my first charge in a long time with HelloFresh, restarting the subscription. I don't know if they're going to merge these together, but the total of the 2 equals what I should be paying for this time. I got $20 off the first box. I will get $20 off the second box, and then several boxes. I think it's total 9 boxes. So for 7 boxes, I'll get $10 off of those. So until all the boxes have been delivered in all the weeks. And the delivery date is on Mondays for us, but they're going to charge us, I think, on Thursdays. So I might have to be doing some adjusting. But since the money, or since even though the money's been charged to the credit card already here on Thursday, I went ahead and put it on Friday because that's where the money's coming out from. So I already know what the balance is for going forward with that charge. So, but I can't put that in because I don't have that adjustment over here on Paycheck 3 yet. So I told you all that for nothing, I guess. Anyways, this is the new budget here, and this is what I got to remember. So $157.04, and okay, I am back. I had to change the battery again. I talk too much. I just talk too much. So anyways, as I was saying, I don't know where I left off other than I was putting information in for grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline, copay, unbudgeted, and then I put an extra one for Odell because I didn't remember to put it over here and fix some expenses, so that's okay. So budget for week 5, Paycheck 3, they're both the same thing. This is the weekly check-in over here. This is Paycheck 3. What I have left, let's see if I can write this, $157.04. I have $18.14. I will go over budget in that. Not too much, maybe by $10, $15. I hope with whatever my sons order. I do want to pay for their stuff because I love them. $171.51. But my husband and I are not doing eating out for the next 40 days, starting February 22nd, which was Lent. that is our sacrifice this year, and that's something we prayed about and that God led us to and we needed, you know, guidance with. So that is what that is about. Gas. Where's the gas? Oh, here we go. I was looking for my numbers. I have them over here. 62.92. That's not on the weekly check-in. And then copay, I have quite a bit left in copay. I have 86.46. 0 for unbudgeted, and Odell, that's $70. He is a chiropractor that my husband and I both see. 25 of that is my husband's, and because he's a veteran, he gets a discount, a very good discount, and I get $45. And I'm on a cash savers plan, so I pay an annual fee, and then it saves so much every time I come in. And I can add family members to that, and it's pretty awesome. So we pay $70 a week in chiropractic care for the two of us, and it's kind of like our chiropractic date day. We are getting that old. So let me get this turned so you can see it. I think I can put an estimate down. Do I want to put an estimate? Yeah, because I'm going to do income minus expenses here, and then I'm going to do total actual savings here at the end of the month, and then here I'll probably put the same total there. Maybe I'll just put the estimate or the budgeted. So budgeted savings, which means at the end of paycheck 3, whatever's left, I will put that into savings. And what my goal is, and I completely forgot something. Where's it at? Oh, my sticky note. I'm going to add this to this over here. So savings, emergency fund. We want 8 months of salary. In order to reach that goal, I need right now out of this 300 and, oops, wrong number. That's why I love erasable pens. $356.27. That is the savings minimum I want to do this month. There might be a few dollars left over. I will probably put that into, I don't know where I'll put that. I haven't quite figured that one out. But I do have to have a minimum of savings here. So let's total all these numbers up and see if I can get all this to flow together. Let's find out my fixed expenses. I did set up my budget like way early as far as laying down my stickers. That's why I had to add a couple of things. But I think I can make it work. So let's go ahead and get all these expenses down. So the fixed amount, which I knew, 256 plus 387.46 plus 175 plus 171. Okay, that's $989.46 as our fixed. It's actually more than that, but I forgot to put Odell over here, which is $70. Let's see. So I just put it over here. And that's fine as long as it gets totaled. I have 2 columns so I can get everything listed. Let's see here. 157.04 plus 18.14 plus 171.51 plus 62.92 plus 86.46, 70, and 356.27. Okay. Whew, okay. I may just have enough to do the emergency fund. So my emergency fund, I want 8 months of salary for my husband. And I'm actually basing it on last year's salary number. So it's going to be a few dollars off from this. It's going to be close to, do I have that number with me? Let me see if I can find that number real quick. All right, so the number I'm going by is this for emergency fund. 8 months of salary is $43,744 in our savings account specifically for that category. So I pretty much have you know, I didn't color it in because I couldn't find my colored pencils, but I needed to total that number based on my bank account. I needed $356.27 to get me there. So that is the number. And if I ever decide to try for 9 months of savings, then I will use that, whatchamacallit, mason jar coloring thing I made for myself. All right, so I have my two numbers as far as expenses. Let's total them together, 98946. There we go. Whew. That was the number, $1,911.80. All right. Now, I'm not going to write that number down. I'm going to take this number at the top. I'm going to write it off to the side though, because I don't want to forget this number. 191180. There we go. All right. $2,338.40. Now this could change. This, if we get our tax refund during the next 5 days, guess what? That could change. It'll probably be March before we get our tax refund, because you know we just sent it in. So we'll see. Minus the $1,911.80 leaves me $426.60. I'm curious, does my tracker say? Very close. I'm very close on my tracker. Yes. I'm like 3 pennies off. I'm just not sure how that's happening, but I'm 3 pennies off, but that's okay. At the end of this month, I should have this left over for another savings goal. And I'm not sure what that savings goal is. I'm putting in savings, but I'm not sure what it's for. There you go. So paycheck 3, I had to cover paycheck 2. I've got all my numbers. I know my savings goals. I know there's still going to be cash left over. So all my categories should be fine as far as spending. If it's less than this, that meant I spent a little too much over here, which is fine if that's what we need. But this makes me feel really good that this is a good buffer holding us until the last day of the month. And then when my husband gets paid again on the 1st of next month, which he does every month, then we'll start all over again in March. And I should have a March monthly video coming up pretty soon, and monthly budget, and then do the cycle all over again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.